Very good morning. Welcome to all speakers. And I'm very pleased to see Professor Arief Rachman, Executive Chairman of the Indonesian National Commission for UNESCO, Ministry of Education and Culture. Also, our dear colleagues from Brunei, Darussalam, young Mulia, Pengiran, Hajah, Mas Joliwane, binti Pengiran, Tejudin. Also, Ananto, Dr. Ananto Kusuma, Seta from the Ministry of Education and Culture, Indonesia, Dr. Sheela, Nair, Gopala, Nair, Ministry of Education of Malaysia, Ms. Jocelyn, DR, Andaya, Department of Education from the Philippines, and Mr. Simao do Rosario, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, Timor-Leste. So welcome to all of you, and welcome also to all participants who are joining us from UNESCO office, Jakarta, live Facebook as well as through Zoom. And also, this is an important forum in the context of COVID-19, as we have school closures in more than 180 countries. This has highlighted the inequalities in education throughout the region, and especially also in our cluster countries. The cost of digital divide is huge. We have an important role to play to ensure the student health and well-being. We need to really reassess our education systems to understand what are the challenges, where are the opportunities, how can we improve our education system at the same time while we are trying to fight with this pandemic. And of course, the challenges like climate change have not gone away. UN has recognized education for sustainable development as a model for rethinking learning to achieve the sustainable development goals, all 17 of them, very important. ESD reassesses what we learn, where we learn, and how we learn. It develops the knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes to enable all learners for making informed decisions and actions for global problems such as climate change and the issues like the pandemic we are facing. We have in UNESCO heavily emphasized on cognitive learning through emotional, social, behavioral learning. These are important tools for learners as well as for teachers. We need to make sure that the tools to tackle the problems of present and future, such as ESD, are put in a proper context, especially in the context of the climate change and to transform society. We need to understand resilience from the pandemics, but also we need to understand that ESD is an enabler of all the 17 sustainable development goals. And we need to be prepared, of course, for the future crises like the COVID-19. And also there can be many other disasters which can be stuck. The pandemic has shown us the importance of the individuals and societies and their ability to quickly respond to unexpected risks. This implies that we understand the complexity, we anticipate the scenarios, we negotiate the trade-offs, and to act very quickly with limited information and to collaborate in finding the solutions as we are working today towards ESD. And ESD helps us develop such capacities, such competencies at all levels within society. So we are living in an interconnected world where COVID-like challenges are not for one nation, and same is for climate change, and same is for the issues of achieving the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So ESD can help us understand how we live in this global environment while we have to find the local solutions where the social inequalities and their distribution is unfair throughout the world, and it's uneven both spatially and temporally. We need to work together to achieve solutions at the global level while we are working in our own areas. And how do we translate our responses into concrete solutions with living local environment through green schools, which is also very important for today. ESD encourages us for collaborative learning outcomes. It encourages students to work together, governments, policymakers, education leaders need to ensure that education for sustainable development continues to be built into education frameworks at every stage of the national education systems. The commitment to ESD must include learning in all contexts for all learners, no matter their gender, location, socioeconomic status, or connection to the internet. Last year, UNESCO has looked into ESD for 2030. For next up to 2030 agenda for the next 10 years. And ESD is a very important part of our mandate, where we work together with stakeholders, governments, education and training leaders, policymakers, and teachers. So it needs commitment from all of us. And in that regard, green school education, the education for sustainable development in the context of green schools, in the context of 2030 agenda, in the context of disasters like pandemics, in the context of preparing us for more resilient nations, all of that is very important. So I welcome all eminent speakers from our cluster countries, as well as the learners who have joined us. It's a very strong commitment from all colleagues. There are more than 490 people on the Zoom, as I see. And also, I want to congratulate the Indonesian government and the leadership of the National Commission for the launch of the Global Education Monitoring Report, which was also a great event earlier this month. So let us work together to find solutions to the global problems by working together. Let's look into this wonderful day and learn together. So terima kasih. Thank you very much, dear Pa. So let's have a great meeting today.
Thank you very much, Professor Shahbaz Khan, the Director and Representative of UNESCO Office Jakarta, for the welcoming remarks. Thank you so much.